Blog Talk Radio.
Please take all the necessary precautions to protect your constitution while listening to this broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Coming to you live via the internet. It's time for Rage Against the Regime. Let's get ready to rumble! Finally, a show for patriots, defending the Constitution and uncovering the truth at every turn, bringing you exclusive interviews and covering the topics the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. Call in and join the discussion at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. And now, here are your hosts, Bobby Who's the Man and Becky Williams. Rage Against the Regime.
I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. No, I'm kidding. Welcome to Rage Against the Regime podcast, and I am your host, as always, Bobby Who's the Man, and along with me, as always, my trusty co-host and sidekick and sister to the end of the world, Becky Williams. Hello, sister. What's going on?
Hey, brother. I'm just kicking it like you, trying to get the latest information out to the folks today. I'm
there you go.
Very excited about our guest today. Why don't you tell our listeners who we've been blessed with today? It's an honor, Tom. Go ahead, Bobby. Introduce our guest today.
Well, today we have brought back a brother of mine. Well, I guess you could say a brother of ours. He runs Bunker Report and does a very, very good job of it. One of my favorite places to go to, to check on weather-related situations and what's going on globally and everything else. And without further ado, let's welcome Tom Lupshu. Tom, welcome aboard, brother.
How you doing, Bobby? How you doing, Becky?
I'm doing good, brother.
Doing awesome.
Welcome aboard. And I'm so glad to have you back on today. Thank you for coming.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, we had a really good time last time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you know what? I think last time you were on, I think that we had a ton of unfinished business that needed to be tended to, and I think that this is going to be a perfect way to get it started. But I would be crazy not to get it started without talking about the earthquakes that are going on in Idaho and all around the Yellowstone area. Can you give us a little bit of information about that?
Yeah, it's they had the one day there, they had the 4.9 right there in Idaho, and that continues to be a hot spot. Yeah, 4.9 was, and just the other day they had a 5.1, and then they turn around and they're downgrading it. But it's just you're seeing a continuous list of these earthquakes that are happening right there, and it really is getting dangerous. What I consider dangerously close to Yellowstone. A lot of people are coming at me saying it's fracking, but I mean, there's. I can understand that fracking in some levels may cause some activity as far as earthquakes, but not on a 4.9 scale. There's a lot of talk that people say, well, earthquakes are not combined with the whole, the whole area, the whole, how can I say it here, the lines, the fault lines.
Right.
But they're saying now that's proof that they all run together. So it's all connected somehow. So I mean, honestly, that's why I put out the video. Like, hey, if anybody has any more, more ways to guide us on this issue, chime in and let us know, because you're hearing it from both sides. They're saying that no, these fault lines aren't connected and it's all just isolated incidents. But then you have others that saying that they are connected and this is all just leading up to a large event. And I would hope not. I mean, you never know what it can trigger.
Well, let me tell you something. Funny thing is I've been saying for the longest time that it wasn't that I got information from anywhere. It was something that I had in my mind and that I thought about, and I've been telling everybody on the show for the longest time that I think that they're all connected somehow. How long have I been saying that, Becky?
Oh, man. Friggin' forever. You know why here in Texas we're seeing a lot of earthquakes? Listen, I've lived here all my life, Bobby and Tom. In the city that I grew up in, Irving, Texas, we have had 19 earthquakes in the past, 8 months. And concurrently, we had 4 in the last 2 months of the year of 2014. That's unheard of. We have them in Arlington. We have them in Mansfield. I mean, all my life I've lived here, man, and we never had earthquakes.
Right here, I'm looking at a post on Bunker Report from a lady named Donna, and she posts over there all the time and comments on things. And she actually posted a picture from LiveScience.com that actually shows, it breaks down in a whole graph where the Yellowstone caldera actually runs out through Wyoming all the way into Idaho, right into that area where they had the 4.9.
Wow.
So one's got to wonder, and you have to start questioning that, is this magma moving around? I mean, of course it's always moving, but is it moving large amounts? I mean, is there, it's unexplainable, because just as we think we know, all of a sudden the game changes and it's something different that nobody saw coming.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that earlier.
Yeah, it's something we need to really take a good look at. I mean, we know we're fighting political giants every day. We're fighting the obvious things that we can see. But what Mother Nature can bring and what they can actually do, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to put it out there because we know what their agenda is, what they could actually do with, I don't know, say some missing nuclear missiles or weapons that are missing, they could do a whole lot of damage by creating an underground explosion to go ahead and set that whole thing off. And, you know, it may sound like a tinfoil hat thing, but I don't put anything past any of them. So,
you know, that's a very scary thought, Becky. You know, if you guys remember, you guys remember last year when they moved all those nukes out of Texas and took them over on the East Coast without the paperwork being signed?
Right.
And then they turn around and remember all the preparations that were going on in FEMA Region 3, and then all of a sudden it came out that they had all these plans to evacuate people from the United States, Brazil, and everywhere else. They had all these paperwork and documents signed. They know that Yellowstone is becoming active again. They know all of this. It's just a matter of when. Now, whether they're in on it, that's the big question. And, you know, I don't have sources high enough to know that much.
Right.
Question. You and Bobby both know that our government has, or it's not our government. I need to correct myself. This illegal incorporation of thugs that we call government has confiscated millions and millions of acres on that West Coast area and up north. You know, and when I'm talking millions, I think one confiscation or one move that they made was like 60 million acres. I haven't done enough study on it, but maybe you have, Tom, to tell me as far as maybe logistically, how close is that to that region?
You mean how close is that to FEMA Region 3? Because if it's FEMA Region 3 is all the way over on the East Coast, Becky. You're talking over on Pacific, over in the West Coast area.
There is so much land now. There's so much land mass now that are no-fly zones from HARP to FEMA. There are no-fly zones for commercial or private aircraft, and only military aircraft can fly in those zones. We have serious no-zone regions here. And one would have to ask yourself, why would 60 million empty acres close to Yellowstone Park have a no-fly zone? What the hell are they doing?
No, you know, I heard the same thing, Becky. I heard something about somebody called me the one day and said, "Hey, Tom, they are flying. They've seen actual military choppers going in and out of Yellowstone area." And I'm like, wait a minute here. The guy used to know not used to know, but I still know him. I just haven't talked to him in a long time. His name's John, and he's a retired geologist. And he actually last year was out at Yellowstone doing his own seismic. He was putting his own seismometers in the ground. And he's no longer allowed out there anymore either. So, and he took off out of there last year after that 4.9 in a park, and then he said that things started really becoming unstable. And the gases, he reported to me that there were certain gases coming out of there, and he said, that's it, I'm out of here, I'm not going back. And there was actually other people that tried to contract him to go out there with him, and he's like, I'm not going back in there. Yeah, so,
Do you think any of that has to do with the testing, with all them being around there, and that's why the choppers and stuff like that? Or do you think that they're actually observing and trying to get a bird's eye view for, what's probably going to be imploding here real soon?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I could give my, I guess, an opinion, but my opinion is they know something is definitely, they know that something's going on. They issued a gag order. Everybody, even the guy you had on your show, what was his name? The old man?
Al Nash.
I can't remember. Yeah, Al Nash.
Al Nash.
But, I'd love to ask, and Al, if you're listening, call in tonight, because I'd like to know why you didn't mention about signing the gag order, because all employees, everybody out there, anybody that works for or near Yellowstone, the USGS, everything, they all have to sign a gag order so that they don't talk about it. There's something going on that they know. And it's, I don't know.
It's pretty scary. Pretty damn scary.
None of us have ever been alive for a... Sorry, go ahead, Becky.
Well, I'm just saying that I saw, and I'll make this brief, I saw videos of whole herds in the Yellowstone National Park, whole herds of elk and buffalo running up on the pavement, running away from a mountainous region. Did you see that?
Well, they say they was running. They say they was running back into the park. They were
running into the park. Yes,
yeah,
that's it, 100% right. They were running into the park. See,
yes.
When I had on Al Nash, Becky, I had on the PR director for Yellowstone. Of course, he's gonna sugarcoat things or whatever, but he said that people don't realize they don't stay on the same side of the park all the time. When the climate changes, they move from one side of the park to the other. They were actually running into the park, not away from the park.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Bobby, you know something funny? And I put this out in a video before, which, I called out the New Yorker, that one media website. They put in there, can you believe that they put in there that I'm the one that ran that video about the bison running out of the park? And I said, I never ran that. That's not my video. I say, I ran the video about, and it was actually on CNN, if you guys call that, but where I was sitting there doing a talk about why you should prepare for an event like this, because something could be coming down the pike, and I was going by what John was telling me. And then a week later, we got a 4.9 at Yellowstone. And then all of a sudden, the video and everything else ended up on CNN and Russia Today and everywhere else. But, I was going, and then that's another thing. I don't predict anything. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not Edgar Casey. I'm not some prophet or chosen one. I go by what people bring to me. I don't know. I'm getting attacked over a video right now about an asteroid that's supposedly coming through. It's supposed to impact on somewhere around like September 2015, somewhere around that area. And I'm being attacked over that. It's not even it was sent to me.
Right.
I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, but you know what? Funny thing is, that same interview that I did with Al Nash, and then you posted the video and all that, one person on your page goes, Tom, he's talking crap about you, talking about me. They're like, Tom, he's talking crap about you and your buddy John. I'm like, wasn't even talking about you, had nothing to do with you, and I made it really clear when I did that. Remember, I did that statement that I released.
Yeah.
And it's like, people were trying to cause, Becky, people were trying to cause a problem between me and Tom. They were trying to say that I was talking crap about him and his buddy John, and I'm like, no, the exact opposite. I said the only one that was credible in the whole story was Tom. Other than that, everybody else was crap.
Well, see, there's a lot of Becky knows that too, though, Bobby. There's a lot of people out here. You realize it's a paid profession to actually people get paid to get online and
yeah.
really try to and just they're like a defense attorney. Their whole job revolves around discrediting you. I mean, it's just amazing.
Absolutely.
Dinah Saber, that's what she goes by. I've got one of those. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you.
Well, you know what? So let's try to start breaking some news then. I noticed that a lot of people keep bringing up Planet X.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are talking about Planet X, and that they think that it's going to be something that's going to cause and create havoc, and so on and so forth, and whatever. I mean, what do you know about Planet X?
That goes way back, Bobby, and I don't mention a whole lot about that because I'm kind of on the fence. But I got to tell you, there is a lot of evidence that points towards something going on. Now, whether it's something that's coming into our solar system and, like, creating havoc as far as with weather patterns and just all this activity on fault lines and volcanism, I mean, it's pretty simple. Anything that triggers, like, mass volcanism is going to put us out of the park anyway, because with all the gases and all the ash and everything else that goes up into the stratosphere, and not atmosphere, but stratosphere, I mean, that can easily cause an ice age to wipe us all out. But if something comes through, I mean, just think about it. What if, something I thought about, and maybe there's somebody out there that can correct me if I'm wrong, but they say this thing has a 3,600-year orbit, okay? They call it the Destroyer. Wasn't it the Anunnaki or something like that? They called it the Destroyer, and it came around every 3,600 years. So if you date back 3,600 years ago, there was what was it? I believe it was Noah's flood, if I'm not mistaken, if you go by the Bible. And then 3,600 years before that, there was some other type of event, and I don't remember what that one is right now. I should have all this wrote down. I didn't think he was going to bring up Planet X, but but it's definitely something
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blindside you.
No, it's great. I mean, it's a very very interesting. And here's another thing a guy mentioned. Now, what have we been seeing this year or last year more than anything that we have ever seen before? Fireballs. Look at all these fireballs. Look at the one in Russia. It just came out of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, so is something pushing these things towards our planet? I mean, you got to think of that. And then they're saying when this thing makes a pass that it could be dragging all this trash behind it. And just, who knows? I mean, maybe we'll get some callers tonight that have a little more insight into it. But it's definitely interesting.
Well, I've got like 6 holding, so.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah, let's start bringing them in.
Hi. 757, you're on the air with Rage Against the Regime. Who I got?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Hey.
Who we speaking?
My name is Marlon Spell. I'm actually a truck driver, and I never heard of the channel before, but just last night I actually just started following Tom's YouTube page, and man, it's just phenomenal, I thank you for everything that you do, man. Like, the topic that you all are on now, I just started to get into, but, I guess I'm one of those guys that you would call, like, the conspiracy theorist. I guess that's what or I guess that's what they would call it, but y'all, your insight is just amazing. All of you all, I'm going to take mine off air, but I just want to say thank you, Tom, for everything you do, and just keep it up, man. Thank you very, very much.
Hey, thank you so much, brother.
I do have a question. With us truck drivers out here, I don't know if you all, like, I'm in Fremont Region 3. I live in Virginia. As you can tell, 757. That's us, and with everything, I've done a lot of research and everything like that. I'm just trying to figure out, if this whole thing that Obama passed, I think it was 2010 or whatever, where FEMA can take over the roadways and everything like that. If I'm trying to get back home, where does that put me? Like, will I be able to get back home? Or I don't know if you all know anything about that or not, but, if that is the case and everything was to start happening and FEMA was to take over everything, where would that put us drivers? I'll take it off air.
I'll say this, brother, and I really appreciate your compliment. I'm telling you, I that's why I do all this, but I really appreciate it. just want to say on the home thing. Make sure you have a plan A, B, C, and D, and make sure you have B, because everything. So you got to put plan A. But yeah, it'll be something if all of a sudden they just lock everything down and there's roadblocks and nothing's moving. I would think if you play it cool that you could most likely, if you're an over the road driver, I'm thinking most likely you'd be able to get home. You'd get a pass somewhere because of course you'd have your CDL license and say, hey, I'm just trying to make it home. I'm just trying to get here and there. I mean, but if it's some type of major crisis now, anything goes.
Have you all heard anything about that at all?
I'm sorry, sir?
I said, have you heard anything about that at all?
Well, there's always the chance that we can wake up tomorrow to an entirely different world. Same as if there's a bank run, they're going to shut these banks down. You're not going to be able to get money. You're not going to be able to whatever you got on you, what you're going to have on you. So as an over the road truck driver, I would probably keep some pretty heavy cash handy with you. If anything, you can buy your way through. And I think the worst part about the whole getting home thing would be a grid down scenario, because then you'd just have total chaos and you'd be trying to get through. But as far as martial law and them shutting the roads down and having roadblocks and checkpoints, I think you'd fare pretty well as an over the road, because you'd have your CDL and everything else. You'd be able to get a pass pretty much, I would think.
Hey, driver, I'm a driver also. Okay, I'm a driver also. I know a little bit about what you're talking about, but I haven't ever heard anything about them to where they're going to try to stop us, because believe it or not, they need us more than anybody else. So I don't think that would ever be a situation. As long as you got your bill of lading and you got your CDL and then your books are in order, I don't think you're going to have a problem.
I got a little bit. I'd like to interject a couple of things here for you, brother. So this is for the caller. Okay. This is Becky. Listen, the fact that you're a trucker and you have access to alternative communications via your CB radio, I personally, if I were a trucker, would make sure that my family at home had the ability through ham radio or CB to be able to receive a message from me in the event that Obama and his little goons want to go ahead and throw martial law down and flex muscles on Agenda 21, tactics that we are suspecting are coming. We're seeing evidence of preparation for this, and we have been, especially since Obama was reelected. He's really flexing his stupid muscle. So I would suggest, first and foremost, that you make sure you have an open line of communication, because most likely when that happens, they're going to shut our towers down where our cell phones are not capable of function.
Yep.
Okay, but the CVs will be okay? Like they wouldn't...
The CBs and the ham radios are going to be your open line of communication. And for the other listeners out there, you can pick up a handheld ham radio for a relatively minimal amount of money at this time. And you really need to think about those things. Forget about your hamburger and your French fries for the week, or your party on the weekend, or whatever it is that you might think, you deserve because you worked hard, and you certainly do deserve it. But we need to right now be thinking responsibly, I guess would be the best way to put that. Be responsible in our attempts to utilize our extra funds to our advantage to prepare for what is definitely coming.
Absolutely. We appreciate you calling, though, driver. Be safe out there.
God bless you, brother. All right, let's go to the next caller. 707, you're on the air. Who have I got? 707 area code. You're live. Hello, 707 area code. Last four digits, 8547.
Might be somebody. Did they have their hand up? Did they have their hand up?
No, they didn't. That's my bad, but I'm still trying to get...
I wouldn't bring any of those people up.
All right. 604, you're on the air live.
Hello.
Hi. Who's
hello.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't expecting to be picked up. I'm listening to your show for the first time.
I do apologize.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks like, this is Tom Lupshu. Lupshu,
yes.
Yes, sorry about that. No, I'm
That's
usually
okay.
listening. I'm new to your show, and I just wanted to check in and see what it's all about. I usually follow Hagman and Paul Begley and those shows, and I just wanted to see what you have to say about the things that are going on right now. So I just actually tuned in just a few minutes ago, and so hopefully I can catch your shows every day. Is this a new? Do you run a daily show? Is this?
Actually, this is Bobby's show. It's Rage Against the Regime Radio. I'm just a guest today.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
I just caught his video yesterday, and like, I got to tune into this. So if is your show a daily show though, or at 2:30? I'm on the West Coast. I'm actually I live in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada.
All right. So
awesome.
do you have anything to add in about the earthquakes in Idaho just recently, or anything like that?
I heard about the earthquakes yesterday, but I don't know anything more about them other than that they did happen. I got family that live in Spokane, which is that's Washington, eastern Washington, not too far from there. But I do expect that it does have something to do with the Yellowstone issue, and it's getting closer and closer to Yellowstone. So I'm keeping tabs on what's going over in that neck of the woods. So
yeah. How about the theory of Planet X? Have you ever have anything on that, or?
Yes, I know. I've been keeping up with what Mike from around the world is saying about it, and I believe that it's out there, and that things. He's got August 17th pegged as something coming in, and it's all mysterious, and the magnetic waves are going to be starting to hit the Earth on August 17th, and nobody knows how serious it's going to be, but there's other waves coming in behind, and I'm assuming that he's implying something to do with Planet X, or the Burrow, Planet X, or 7X, some people are calling it. There was a guy, what was his name? He was on Hagman and Hagman a couple of weeks ago that was really informative about Planet X as well. But no, I'm sure that it's out there, and it's going to be interesting.
Ooh, I hope not. Boy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you haven't heard this about the August 17th date and the orbit that it's on, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I heard a lot about something about a September date in this year, but it was about more of like an asteroid impact. But Planet X, I've like listened and done research on that for a very long time now. So I mean, you gave us some very good input there about as far as the magnetic fields changing and everything else. I mean, it's really deep.
Just looking for the name of the guy that was on the Hagman and Hagman show just not too long ago. He's got his videos out. I'm just doing the blonde moment here. Oh, Bob Fletcher.
Okay.
He's got his DVDs that I guess a two-part DVD, but you can find it on YouTube as well. Just check them out on Bob Fletcher YouTube. Somebody's posted his DVDs there in regards to Planet X or Planet 7X. I think that he's calling it. That's really interesting. And the dates do. His dates are. Mike from around the world is. Are you familiar with Mike from around the world? Because he's a speaker on Hagman and Hagman once in a while, and also on Paul Begley. quite often.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm familiar with Paul Begley. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We appreciate you calling in. We just have so many callers right now. Our board is completely lit up, and we want to give everybody a chance.
Okay.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I'll tune into more of your shows. I'll be listening to the rest of the show. So
thank you very much.
Keep in touch Keep in touch with me over at YouTube. Take care.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye. You know what, everybody? We're going to try to get as many calls in as we possibly can. Try to keep it to maybe one question. We're completely lit up. Our phone lines are going nuts right now. So if you can keep it to one question, one comment or whatever, and we'll try to get you guys in and out as best and easy as we can. Please be respectful, though. So, okay, Becky, if you want to bring in the next person.
All right. 714, you're on live. Rage Against the Regime. Who have I got? Area code 714, you're on live.
Hey, I don't know how much of this I'll be able to hear or you'll be able to hear because since I came onto the call a moment ago, it just keeps going away, so.
What keeps going away?
Again, I can hear nothing.
Is that you, Bill? I think that's Bill, Becky.
That's Bill. He's having issues. I had someone else text me and said they were having a hard time getting on. That our Audible was in and out. So.
Okay, he just dropped though, so we should be okay. Because I see we got a ton of callers. So and we've had up to 15 callers. So.
Next call.
I don't know. Yeah, let's bring on the next person. If Bill comes back, we'll bring him back up.
Area code 111. You're on live. Who have I got?
Hello, area code 111. Hello.
All right.
Did they have their hand up, Becky?
I can't. Okay. All right, honey. Bye-bye. Bobby, tell me how I can tell if their hand's up.
You'll see a little number. You'll see a little thing next to the number, like a little slash, like a little I or whatever.
Like a question mark?
It'll be like a little mark next to it saying that means they want to talk.
I cannot even hear. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
All right. Hey, my name is Donna Reeves, and Tom knows who I am.
Hey, Donna, how are you?
Hey, hon.
All
right. Well, great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's good to hear from you.
I know. This is
amazing.
I've heard my voice. So I'm glad you showed on your page that this is going to happen because, now everybody's calling in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to get your take, and you and I differ a little bit, on global warming.
Yes.
And the previous guest had talked about Paul Begley, which I follow him. And he was one of the guest speakers at the Global Warming Convention that was just in Peru on December 4th. And there is some videos online. I don't know if you got a chance to watch them. I have been posting them here and there on your page. And they go into detail. There's 3 parts. And they go into detail about everything from global warming to how it's going to break down society to what it's going to do to the earth. And everything that's happening is been discussed on that. As far as volcanic and everything. And I wanted your take on that.
Yeah, and Donna, we do go back and forth quite a bit. Donna's one of my troopers, guys. She's a stand-up girl. I'll give her that.
Okay.
So, like a lot of Guy McPherson stuff that you've done research on, and you sent me a lot of those videos. And I actually read his book, Going Dark. Very interesting subject. Now, the thing I talked last week on the show here is that, almost on the fence with global warming anymore because, and you see I post that all the time, I'm kind of things about global warming and global cooling because it's confusing me so much, the drastic changes that we're seeing because, we've cooked in, whether it be from natural variations, whether it be from carbon emission, we've already cooked in a certain degree level, and it's even scientific that we've cooked that in above baseline, which was, civilization. But on the other hand, we're having natural variations and cycles with volcanism, all this, all the other things going on. That's kind of battling the warming effect. It's almost cooling patterns. So it's got me so confused when I just continue my research on it. It's got me very confused because what I'm seeing is like our whole. It's like.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch those videos at all? The conference in Peru. Are you there?
Tom?
Oh, okay.
No. I think we lost Tom. I don't know. Maybe it was his phone or something. Let's give him a second. Maybe he'll call us right back.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me check the board and see. He probably had a bad connection because he's probably on his cell phone or something.
Okay.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, Tom.
Oh, you got me on. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you are.
Back.
There you are. We lost you.
Somewhere.
We lost you for a minute, but there you are. You're back.
I'm sorry, Donna. Donna. You was saying, Donna. I lost you there.
Okay, I was wondering if you watched any of those videos from the conference in Peru.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay. And how did you feel about that? I mean, they went into everything that's happening. Everything.
I know.
And you're still on the fence about it?
It's they have, you have so many what I call like peer-reviewed papers and peer-reviewed so-called peer-reviewed scientific proof on both sides. That's what's so confusing for me. Yeah, I can't, here's what I'm not on the fence about. And maybe this has to do with a lot more of it, is habitat for the human species. Because everything is being so disrupted where, if we're not able to grow food and we're not able to grow plants and feed 7 billion people on this planet, I mean, there's going to be a die-off regardless of how anyone wants to look at it. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to hear about a mass die-off where we're not going to be able to feed the population, we're not going to be able to grow plants to feed the animals, for us to eat the plants and animals. It's just, and I mean, I'm not on the fence about that. We're definitely destroying our habitat we live in.
Right. And, well, what frightens me is, the fact that they are coming out saying human extinction could happen as early as 2050, which is not far away.
I heard 2020.
2020 is where it'll start.
That's
or 2030.
That's whew.
If there's no ice in the Arctic coming this summer, I guess, that's going to be really frightening.
Now there's another thing you just mentioned about the Arctic. There's proof that there's a methane release up there just waiting to happen.
Yes,
and they say
it is.
That's some serious business there. And I challenge anyone, that anti-global warming or global warming methane, the bubble bursts. I mean,
that's
we have
what's
already.
So frightening.
Yeah, I mean, we have already. What's really frightening is we've already triggered over 25 self-reinforcing feedback loops in our environment that cannot be turned around. We cannot change it back. We're already past. We've crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back. So that's
yes.
And nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to
They
live
do
in an
not.
age of denial, Donna. We do.
Yes, they are, and it's frightening. I mean, they are saying we are past the tipping point right now, and that is frightening.
What
so
was it,
I
the
guess
French
we'll have
foreign
to
minister?
see.
Didn't the French
Excuse
foreign
me?
minister, didn't the French foreign minister just come out and say a while back that we were 500 days away from climate chaos?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, if it's going to hit the fan, it's not going to be too far. I mean, it's, I guess this is major. It's going to affect everything. And, you know, that's scary. And
yes, it is.
they do tie in the volcanism and the earthquake and the chaos with society and all that stuff with it.
Yeah, that's why you're seeing in one area you have biblical floods, and then in another area you have severe droughts. It's our jet stream is meandering. It's collapsing right before us. I love corresponding with you, Donna. We go back and forth so much. We do. We go back and forth so much.
All right, I'm going to hang up and give somebody else a chance. But
you can hopefully, if you want to keep listening.
Oh, I will.
Hopefully you stick on and listen with us and stay in touch with me, Donna.
Okay, I will. Thanks, Tom. You rock.
Thanks so much.
Okay, you got plenty of fans out there. That's for sure, brother.
Donna's good people.
Plenty of fans.
Really good people.
I'm going to bring Bill. Bill has some input that he'd like to give us. Bill, I've opened your mic up. Can you hear me now? Bill, can you hear me now? Bill is saying that we're fading in and out. And
that's got to be him. It's him.
All right. Let's go to the next caller then. We've got a couple here with their hand up. I'm going to try that 111. It's probably a Skype listener. I'm going to go ahead and unmute
it's a Skype number. Yeah, those are Skype numbers.
You're unmuted. If you just heard me unmute your line, you're on live. Your phone number is showing 111-111-1111.
Hello?
Who we got? You're on Skype.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome aboard.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Welcome aboard.
Oh, you can hear me. Good. Hi, Tom Lupshu. How are you, sir?
Good, and you?
I'm still alive. My name is Trinley, and I'm calling you with some concerns. I've been following your stuff for a while. I've been researching for years, ever since the debacle in Fukushima, but many more things as well. I'm wondering if you might have a website called isthisthingOn.org.
There is a website.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
sorry. I know of the website. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're keeping tabs on those thumbs because it's rocking there big time.
Yes.
I watch it every day, and I could be doing much different things, but this is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that are important. And I wanted to touch on what you just said about the methane. I actually just read a report recently that it is actually already, in fact, starting to bubble out extremely. I don't know how to put it. A lot. It's it's breaking loose already. It was a Russian report. I don't have the link on me right now, but I'm looking at the recent. I don't know if you have Nuke Professional. I'm just throwing this stuff out. .blogspot. I don't want to take too much of your time. .com. He's got the recent update on the polar ice caps. Just came out. I know it's hey, this is factual stuff. I'm glad you're into this and you're putting it all out there.
Oh, definitely. And you know what, brother? It's people like you. You guys are always. I have people that all day they're sending stuff, and we're all networking and researching stuff. It's people like you that send me stuff to where I can research it and present it to everybody else, and we all network together. It's amazing. And I have so many people that just don't want any of their names out there. They want any information out there. I'm like, whatever. And that's what we do. It's outstanding.
Shows you how credible a person is, though.
Yeah,
What's that?
If they don't want to put their info, like their name out there, that shows how credible they are. I mean, I wouldn't take anybody's word for anything if I don't know who the hell I'm talking to.
Correct.
Well, you know what I do. You know what I do also is I'll try to research it myself, and then I'll bounce it off 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get a good hit, and they're just like, wow, you know.
I mean, there's a couple. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but there's a couple of sites that I think a lot of people should know about, and I'm not sure if they do, but it's enenews.com.
Yes,
which
yes.
I'm sure you're aware of. I've been on there since the very first day. NETC.com, which shows radiation monitors throughout the United States and the world. There's many more, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I was just wondering,
go ahead.
Do you have a community where you live, sir, Tom?
I'm sorry, sir?
Do you have a community where you live, or in Ohio?
Yes.
There? Oh, nice. And do you, if you don't mind, I ask. I won't ask, too much.
No, you're fine.
Are you taking people in to your community?
Not at this time. We have kind of like well, I wouldn't say not at this time.
Sure.
But, we have kind of like what you'd call a round table. There's, probably 6 or 7 of us, and we all, nobody makes a decision without other ones to, go on about certain things. But, hey, definitely, contact me, let me know what's going on or what you want to do.
I'll be in contact with you, through YouTube and then maybe further in some other form. And I was just curious.
It's all very open, man. It's not, we don't shun anyone because of their beliefs, their religion, whatever they do, and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, it's whatever.
I'm not afraid to say I'm a Christian, so that's for sure.
Okay. Hey, that's, it's...
And
you're a fear-monger, and you know it.
Have you taken a look at the sun lately?
There's quite a few. I'm not as knowledgeable as people are on that issue, but there's a lot of people that send me stuff about it
for quite some time. You know what's interesting, and I can share this with you. I'll say really quickly. I have a video from a really well-known astrophysicist, and this video came right out of the camera when it was recorded. I'm not going to drop the name right now, but I can tell you it's very credible, and it's from 2003. And it's 12 hours long. It's a seminar in Hawaii, and it's about what the sun is doing, and I think you would be very interested.
Is there any way you can send me that, either like in my inbox at Bunker Report or at YouTube or anything?
Well,
or even Gmail.
I have to. It's on VHS right now. It came out of a big camera that they used in the actual room. So I was, I'll figure out a way. I have to get it transferred, and it has a lot of information that's very credible to the events that are occurring right now. With the sun, part of it turning black, and a large part of it actually right now.
The bottom.
On the top part of it is turning black also on the top. I just looked at it an hour ago, and it's spooky looking.
There was a huge spot on the bottom of it the other day, wasn't there? Towards the bottom left.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. If you go on Soho.com, you'll see in the GFI or the MPEG pics, you can see it. It's startling. I've seen it on all the newscasts, and
it's biblical. I mean, it's biblical. You have the blood moons, and the Lord specifically told us we would fall into darkness. And it's coming.
Yes, it is.
Well, I hope not.
Well, I know, but we have to trust it's from God, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to know that.
We'll figure something out.
Yes, that's what we do.
That's why we have each other.
Keep doing what you're doing, Tom. I appreciate it. If you don't mind, I call you Tom. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
And everybody there, I don't know
words.
your names, but thank you all for making this all happen. And everybody should just pay attention to everything, because everything is saying something. The birds, the animals. I mean, I could talk. I've been reading so much. I could. Yes.
Caller, this is Becky Williams. I'm one of your hosts, hon. Can I ask you to please give out your Facebook information so that we can contact you?
I would, but I don't do Facebook.
Or if you wouldn't mind, just at least get it to us here at Rage Against the Regime.
Honestly, I have not done Facebook in my life, but I will definitely contact Rage Against the Regime and we'll figure out something else.
God
no
bless
worries.
you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I fully believe this is. Yeah, I was reading Revelation today, going, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, by my calculations, we're at least past the 13th chapter, and for the listeners out there that aren't right with God and don't take time to spend a little bit of your time and effort in biblical word, there's 22 chapters in that book, and then that's it. That's the end of the book. So
correct.
You take from that what you want.
Correct. Well, appreciate everybody.
Have a good night, brother. Because we have a ton of people to get
I
in.
Understand. I'll let you
we're
go.
not trying to rush you off. All righty. Have a good night. All right.
Peace.
Thank you.
God bless.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Take care, brother.
We've got callers here with their hands up, Bobby. Tom, are you ready for the next caller?
Whenever you guys are. Sure.
All right, brother. I'm going to bring it on. Area code 440. You're on live. Rage Against the Regime. Who are we speaking with?
You're speaking with, I'll use my uncle's hashtag, or whatever you want to call it. He was called Radio Rambo. He was a clandestine Marine. I have a lot of insight about what's going on here, at least with the sun, what you guys were talking about before. Are you guys familiar with the heliosphere?
I've heard of something about that.
All right, it's the magnetosphere that the sun gives off to protect the whole solar system, and it's been weakening. And so you're seeing these spots on the top and the bottom of the sun, similar to that you see Aurora Borealis is on the top and the bottom of the Earth. So what's going on is the sun is actually something funky going on with the sun, or that we've entered a more denser part of the galaxy, and that's all feeding back into our Earth. And you can look this up at on NASA and whatnot, that our magnetosphere for Earth has weakened by 15%. And that's all they say. Wow. But what that means, and that's over like the past 100 years, but it's also been accelerating. But the main point being is a 15% reduction in the heliosphere also means 15% more solar radiation reaching the Earth. So there's a twofold thing going on here. I mean, obviously the CO2 and the methane is definitely something to worry about, but the reason that they're building all these bunkers and everything underground is not because of the CO2 and the methane. It's because of the more solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface. And you can see this, cancer rates are skyrocketing over the past 100 years. Nobody can say why. They'll say lead and they'll say CO2 and they'll say poisoning, but you guys got to trust me on this. There's more actual radiation reaching the Earth.
You see why I do this, Bobby and Becky? This guy's amazing. Do you hear the knowledge? Oh my God!
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got a question for you, brother. You are you're very knowledgeable and well spoken on this whole deal. Do you believe? Or I'll just throw it out there, not that you believe, but you think that maybe this could be a lot of the reason that they're doing a lot of the chemtrailing to try to keep that radiation from reaching the surface of the Earth so much?
Correct. They're spraying barium and aluminum, mostly barium. Barium is known to absorb radiation. So what they're doing is they're spraying barium in the atmosphere because the magnetosphere has weakened. So they're trying to absorb some of that radiation into the barium so that the full 15% doesn't reach the Earth's surface.
Wow.
That's crazy.
We thought they were trying to kill us.
No, it's not poison. Actually, no. The people in charge want to live just as much as you do. So they're just trying to extend the inevitable.
I always thought about that too. I thought, why would they spray themselves? Why would they contaminate the air and their children and the air they breathe and everything else? Because I always knew that there was some reason that they were spraying up there, and you brought something to the table that just completely takes away a lot of the theories on a lot of things that people come up with. Seriously.
So I could back it up, but I got to stay quiet about it. I mean, I do have family in NASA and stuff, so
that's understandable.
So.
Yeah, never give up your sources, brother. Never. Ever.
Nope.
Yes. I know my uncle always told me I was born on a special day, and that I would see what my day was and I was born on 8/11, and he always pointed to Revelation 8/11. So I know what that.
But what you brought to the table tonight totally makes sense. A lot.
Yeah. So, all right, bud. I just wanted to give you guys that information, and God bless, and have a good evening.
Outstanding, sir.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, and I'm in Ohio too, man. Casey was right.
Caller.
I
heard the 440.
Yeah.
Caller, can I ask you a question before you go, sir?
Sure, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Being that you brought up the barium and the aluminum being emitted into the air in order to absorb some of this radiation, have you or anyone that you know of, or even you, Tom or Bobby, have you done any study on the actual damage that massive amounts of aluminum and barium have on the ecosystem and on the human body?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
That's why Monsanto is they're currently all their seeds that they're bioengineering are barium and aluminum resistant.
Wow.
And can you tell the listeners out there what this means to the genetics or the mutations of cells in humans?
Well, heavy metals on your cells are not good. Anyways, they work, once they're broken down, they work like an enzyme, and they start cutting away at the DNA. And any cut away at the DNA can cause mutations and aging or rapid decomposition of cells, is what you want to call it.
Okay. All right. So we're kind of damned if we do, then damned if we don't. If we don't have this omission of chemicals in the air, we're exposed to a higher rate of radiation. Obviously, you've proven that.
Well, it's not a chemical. It's they're heavy metals, but they do use aerosols to keep them afloat.
Well, and it's getting in our water supply, and it's also getting in the wildlife. So we have to take that into consideration as well. Those are food sources, and water, obviously, we need to survive. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm going to go back and do a little bit of homework, a little further and more in depth on those things. And that certainly explains why we have, when you look on those live feeds for radiation levels, it certainly explains why globally we're having hot spots where we are.
Oh, yeah. Oxford journals can show you where the hot spots are. There's one currently over the northwestern Pacific, one off the coast of Brazil, one off of one in the Indian Ocean between Africa and Australia.
Okay.
I mean, all I can tell you guys is that it's kind of a lose-lose. It's not really a win-win. Eventually, they're building their bunkers at 60 feet deep for a reason. Because the last time this happened, everything on the Earth's surface was cooked to 60 feet deep. And I'm not trying to be like the bearer of bad news, but, I mean, that's the honest truth. If we get past 35% reduction in the magnetosphere, there will be enough radiation on the surface to harm a lot of people.
Okay.
So,
wow.
I'll leave you guys with that. Like I said, Godspeed. You know, hopefully there'll be some intervention and we won't get to that point. And that's all I want to say. God bless everybody.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you, brother. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming in, brother. Take care of yourself.
What an amazing call.
Yes. And again, that's why they do this, guys. The information just flows. And like he said, if there's not some type of intervention here, I mean, that's some pretty deep stuff. I mean,
yeah,
man.
You know what? Let me give out the phone number. A lot of people are asking me what the phone number is. 929-477-3565. It's 929-477-3565. And that's the phone number for some people that are asking me for the phone number.
Man, I'll tell you what, Bobby and Tom, with that kind of news getting smacked around my ears with that today, I'm going to quit worrying so much about juicing, and I'm going to eat a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts after I get off the phone. I mean, I'm damn to hell already. I might as well enjoy the journey.
Yeah, I hear you.
Wow, I'll tell you, that was a pretty deep call. That's and it all lines up. Unfortunately, I mean,
one of my sons would say that made my hair scared when his little hair stood up on the back of his neck.
Let me throw this out there. Go back on what you said earlier, Becky. Let me throw this out there. If everybody wants a big conspiracy here, let's do it. What you said earlier, that they were trying to do things maybe to cause Yellowstone to erupt. Well, what if that's to put all this ash into the stratosphere, because a stratovolcano puts ash into the atmosphere. A supervolcano would put ash and certain gases into the stratosphere, which would circle the globe. So you got to wonder there if they're trying to do something to cause a super eruption. Everything from the radiation. It's amazing. Wow.
It's really good. America no more. We're going to have to sacrifice America for the rest of the world. Well, maybe that's why we're not found in the last chapter.
I'll tell you what. You know, none of us have been alive for anything like what the last caller talked about. None of us have been alive for anything like that. None of us have ever been. There's people have been on the planet for super eruptions of like Toba 75,000 years ago erupted, and there you go. We survived, but there was a bottleneck in our DNA. Wow. Truly.
Is that
amazing.
where those come from with the really long necks and the rings around them? I'm
What's
just
that?
kidding. You said back. I do it fun. We're in a world of poop here, you guys.
More than you can imagine.
Big party at my house.
More than you can imagine. Do we have any more callers? I know we have a ton of people listening, but if any of those people that are listening want to ask a question, please, by all means, press that one button so we know that you want to get on and ask a question. We have like a ton of people listening online, but a lot of them don't have their hand up.
Yeah. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that I can actually see on hold, but nobody with their hands up. So these guys may just be listeners on the way home from work or whatever on their phone.
Right.
That's fine.
Well, I want to go off subject here in just a moment and ask you guys a couple of things, if we could, real quick, until we get another caller. We can come back to this subject matter. Has anybody heard anything about General Ham going into Congress tomorrow and having it publicly broadcasted with what he's going to address them with? Does anybody know if that's fact or fiction? Can anybody vet that for me?
And you said, what did they do now?
Well, I've heard from two different people today that 60 Minutes actually confirmed advanced intel tonight on our troops are coming home from Afghanistan. And then there's a comment here about General Ham. Our Republic president? Okay, no. I keep being told, he's actually seated, saying that he'll have an announcement before Congress on Tuesday, January the 6th, and it'll be live on TV. It says Republic is conspiracy theory to many, and then it goes on to say that in less than 48 hours, I guess this was written yesterday, the 114th session of Congress meets on January 26, 2015, as per the required annual meeting, and that they're going to meet on January 3rd. They were supposed to meet on January 3rd for the Constitution, but they're doing it on the 6th. They're coming back from golfing and skydiving with their throne keeper. In general, it says that General Carter Ham is to take advantage of this opportunity to all members of Congress, the came together at the same time to make the official announcement of the Republic and many others are back from the holiday vacations. According to what I've learned, this republic is still under martial law since Lincoln in 1861. It goes on to question Lincoln's eligibility belonging to the bar as president, blah, blah, blah. But supposedly General Ham and the Department of Defense are bringing many of our troops home, and then he's going to go into enforce, not just remove, but enforce the fact that we're in tyranny and take people into custody. Can anybody vet that for me?
Wow.
Yeah, this is the second time this was from Ben Pam's wall, but I received a phone call from Keith earlier, Jones, and he was telling me the same thing. And I don't like to announce anything on air if I can't vet it.
Right.
You know, I keep about General Ham, and then I was told, I questioned his legitimacy and his position, saying that he was actually seated. Well, first of all, I didn't elect him. Never heard anything about it. Nobody called me and said, "Hey, Becky, how do you feel about General Ham?" But second of all, I questioned the fact that they said, yeah, he's truly seated as the president of the U.S. and he's going to allow Obama to finish out his term. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. If we have tyranny or espionage, I'm not even going to say tyranny. I'm going to say espionage because we know he's not eligible as president, no matter what his supporters and the goons that got him in there want to say. We know that's that he's not eligible. But, at the end of the day, we've got a lot of stuff going on, so I was just wondering if you guys could verify that.
I haven't heard too much on it. Maybe some of the listeners out there might have a little something on it. I haven't heard anything about that though.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot about it either.
We've got somebody threw their hand up when I brought that up. Let's see if they are.
That's Bill.
To say,
I believe that's Bill.
Area code 757. Area code 757.
You gotta press the button, Beck.
I did, brother. It's just.
My hand up. All right, can you hear me? Yeah. Hey, look, I didn't. Yeah, it's the truck driver again. I didn't put my hand up about that. I didn't. I pushed one. I just had one question. If this is my first time hearing about this whole the global thing. I hear it's a gentleman I follow on YouTube that does all the weather and everything, and it's strange. It really is. All the weather and everything talks about in Revelation about us not knowing what season we're in. And I understand that. All that's a revelation. But my question is anybody think about, okay, if we have martial law and everything like this is like a melting pot. We have martial law, we got all the weather, we got just all this corruption and everything going on. It's like we're going to hell in a handbasket. I'll take it off air.
Yeah. Yes, as soon as things start breaking down, once the first thing triggers and everything starts breaking down, which I believe it already is, it's coming close. There's definitely going to have to be. They're going to have order. They're going to declare martial law, at least for a short time being. But then, who's going to really what soldiers and what law enforcement are really going to keep their post? When the crap hits the fan, totally, they're going to try to they're going to bug out just like anybody else and try to protect their own family.
Here, this is the way that I look at it. Okay, there's going to be two different groups. There's going to be us, and then there's going to be the people that are begging for help with the government. Okay, that's going to be the two different groups. That group is going to be led to a FEMA camp. Us are going to be the people on the outside trying to stop them from doing whatever the hell they think that they're going to be doing. Okay, but like Tom just said, I think that there's going to be groups, people from government, militia, everybody else that's actually going to stand up and say there's no way that we're going to let this happen. Because there's a lot of military members that have already said that if they have to go against the grid, they will. Because, there's only so much that the government can do against us. Okay, they can do what they want law-wise, but when it comes to, gathering our own people up and trying to do, the FEMA camp stuff and, and whatever, that a lot of the military members are going to actually stand up for the people, and they're not going to allow that to happen. Now, that's going to cause a civil war. We already know that's coming. Okay, so you have enemies already here, foreign or domestic. They're here. Okay.
Yeah.
China.
Am I still on the air? Am I still on the air now? Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We hear you.
Okay. I know we have the Russian troops here, and I know the United Nations is here. Department of Homeland Security, the DOD, FEMA, they brought all of them here. Russian troops are already here. We already know them. I don't know if you all do, but they're already here. They're the ones that are going in, for the confiscation of guns and everything like that. But, we have all this weather and everything going on. Is all of this FEMA camps and everything like that, is that going to take place before this big thing with the weather? Like, that's where I'm lost at. That is where I'm lost. I'm trying to put the pieces together, but, I'm lost.
I understand what he's saying. Now, if you follow like Hagman and Steve Quayle and all them, they're going to give you the more perspective on what's happening with the dollar. Just my opinion, which I always tell people, with my opinion and $1, you can get a cup of coffee at McDonald's. But for what it's worth, for what it's worth, I mean, I think that they're going to, they've already engineered a dollar collapse. That's coming pretty soon. I think all that's going to happen before any kind of weather phenomenon because it's all being timed, I believe. They know what's coming, so they're going to collapse the dollar. I think it's a time we need to watch gas prices because we're all paying that $1.97. You guys are still pushing $3 and something for diesel. So I'm telling you, is that bubble's coming to burst. It's going to be there's going to be a financial reckoning before any type of major catastrophe.
And you just said something about fuel prices. The gentleman, I think his name is Bob. I think that's your name, sir.
Bobby,
you say you're a truck driver, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you say you're a truck driver. Like, if you pay attention, like, do you think the reason that they drop fuel prices and gas prices is to like push against Russia? Is that something that they're doing so that way we can go to war with them, or the propaganda to make it seem like we're going to go to war with them?
It's all propaganda.
I really don't understand. Yes, sir.
It's all propaganda. Listen, anything you see on mainstream media is all propaganda. Okay? I wouldn't believe 10% of the stuff that you see on mainstream media. It's all propaganda. I'm going to tell you right now what I believe. I believe that Obama and Putin are in very good graces with each other. I don't think they have not one problem with one another. And I think that they're leading you to believe that they have a problem with one another. But I think that Obama's in bed with China and with Russia trying to collapse our dollar. That's all it boils down to.
They have to do that in order to get the one world religion. I mean, one world everything. One world government, one world currency, and everything. But and if any of you read the Bible, it's stick to that in the Bible. Like we still have to fulfill the prophecies of the Bible before any of this all ends. But will we be here in order to see all this unfold?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Not
so.
me, man. I'm a down donut. I'm down donut.
Don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. I'm not going down without a fight. There ain't no way. I mean, they're not coming to take what I got.
And one more question before I get off the air. One more question, Mr. Tom. Like, I just started following you. I've never been like a big prepper or anything like that, But like I feel like right now it's like, for me, it's a little bit too late to go out and rush and buy a whole bunch of stuff, So the next thing you know, I'm targeted. I'm probably already am targeted, but, the general necessities, I have a wife and I have 3 daughters at home. I got a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and I got a 8-month-old, and so what are the general necessities that I could get, to where my family will be able to survive? Because last thing I want is to tell my wife, well, look, take the kids to a FEMA camp so we can survive, because I know what they're doing at the FEMA camp. You got the RFID chips, you got, all of that, And
sure.
then it's crazy. It is crazy, So, like,
they're gonna
one of the general
you.
necessities, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna welcome you into those places, man. They're gonna, they're gonna want you to come. The general necessities.
Exactly, yes, sir.
Your general necessities, brother, is, I'm telling you, put away as much water as you can. Go to these Army Navy surplus stores, and you can find these large 50 and 30 gallon drums, and all you do is they're all food service drums. You can just rinse them out, and you can store water in those. Whatever you can do at this point to store as much water and as much non-perishable foods, a lot of rice, a lot of canned foods, whatever you can do, and make sure you're armed, and get with like-minded people. Go to some. I always say go wherever you live at. Go to your the council meetings, the things like that, and ask them. Go up on that podium. Go up there wearing a shirt and tie and ask them what plans do they have for their community. Put your elected officials' feet to the fire and what kind of plans do you guys have? If there's any kind of serious emergencies, and then by the time you leave there, they can't answer you. By the time you leave, brother, you're going to have 10 people coming up to you saying, hey, I understand what you're saying, exchanging numbers and everything. You're going to need people. You're going to need people. There's 168 hours in a week. You're going to need people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, sir, can I add protein is going to be very crucial. If you have pecan trees, I picked up over 300. Protein,
yes.
Beans,
yep.
Peanut butter, cashew butter, raw nuts. That's going to be very vital to your survival, and those are non-perishable items that last for years. So please make sure that you pay attention to your water and your protein. That's going to be important.
You also want to have items that you might be able to use to trade. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you see an abundance of water, say water's $2 for a 24-pack or something, and you got $10 extra, you might want to buy 5 cases, because you know what? There's going to be people that are looking for water. Or Tom gave me an idea. I stole it from him. He went out and bought a bunch of rice, and he bagged it up in 1-pound bags, and he's got all these 1-pound bags that he can actually use, not just for himself and for his family, but people are going to want food, so he can use that to barter with somebody for something else that he may need.
Okay, so what are you guys using for a heat source? Like, if I'm in a building, like, what can you use as a heat source? Am I to go outside, where all of the, what's the word I'm looking for, where they're going to be coming in and they're going to be, robbing and stealing and everything? If I'm sheltered in, with my wife and my kids, what can I use as a heat source? Because they're going to take over the gas, they're going to take over electricity, they're going to take over all of that.
Hey, brother,
they're taking over everything.
I'm going to direct you. I'm going to direct you to my YouTube channel. Go ahead, Bobby. I think he's going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, go to Tom's YouTube channel. If you're not already somebody that is following Tom on YouTube, you need to do that now. He's got plenty of videos that teach you about heat sources, on how you can stay warm, how you can cook, how you can, start storing away and the supplies that you'll need. Tom has so many informative videos on his YouTube channel. Anybody that's not following him, I don't know what your holdup is. You need to start doing that now.
And I worry about people, man, because you're coming with some really serious concerns. I understand you have your wife and your daughters, and that's why I try to do stuff like this. You know?
Oh, did you lose Tom again? There you go. Yeah, he's there. He just keeps going in and out. Well, you know what? We appreciate.
So with the bottled water, like, do you boil it first before you actually drink it? I know you have fluoride and everything like that inside, the bottled water, and I know that's harmful. That's very, very harmful.
Yeah, I mean, you can put away water, and if here's the thing: if you water out of your tap, if you're just going to take an empty container and fill it, use 8 drops of chlorine bleach, plain, unscented. 8 drops of chlorine bleach per gallon, and then store that away, and that'll purify it for you. Now, if you're funny about it, if it sits there for 2 or 3 years and you don't trust it, boil it. Always boil it. That's that's. Yeah.
Hey, well, look, thank y'all very, very much for answering my questions, man. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. And I think what y'all doing is very, very amazing. Thank y'all. Do not back down for nothing. Thank y'all very, very much.
All right, guys, be safe now. Thank you, brother.
All right.
You guys, we have our caller back online that was so informative. Let me bring him back on.
Okay.
Brother, you're back on air. We got you on live. Did you want to come back and share something with us?
Well, yes, I did. Tom Lupshu, he did a video on Edgar Casey and Ohio in the area, and I just wanted to tell him, man, that you are absolutely correct. It's been proven by modern science through both USGS ground-penetrating radar and USGS has a satellite over the area that penetrates the ground to find out which is which is the thickest part of the Earth's crust. Because USGS is always concerned about, where's the thickest part of the Earth's crust. Now, this is the coolest part. Edgar Casey was so right. There are 3 Mount Everests underneath eastern Ohio. We're talking 90,000 feet thick of granite, of a granite mountain. It's the thickest part of the whole Earth's crust is under southeast Ohio, northeast Ohio, eastern West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, and western New York, all the way up to Mount Blanc, which is in Canada. So Edgar Casey totally got it right, and I can tell you totally 100% through science, the thickest part of the Earth's crust is exactly where Edgar Casey said it would be.
Outstanding. That makes me feel great.
Yeah.
Well, here's the worry for us, and from what I know, is Denver and Boulder and all that stuff that the U.S. government puts out on the internet with all the underground bases and everything is a total distraction. They're all here.
Wow.
Because they know the same thing.
Unreal.
Mm-hmm. So all of that mess about everybody going to the Ozarks down there and moving and all that's all just a ruse to. Wow.
Well, I hate to say this publicly, but yes, it is a ruse because the next government fears that retired veterans will be a threat to them, so they're all sending them down to the sink zone.
Wow, that makes total sense. That totally makes sense.
So, I mean, I hate to break that to everybody, but I mean, a part of the Ozarks will sustain, and we'll be okay. But I mean, and it's not like I've seen the future or whatever, but from what I know about the New Madrid fault and its 200-year cycle, man, we're about ready. So
yeah, and if one hits now, like the one that hit before, it's wow. With the infrastructure that we have, it's gonna oh man, it's gonna make a mess.
And I also wanted to comment when you talked about them setting off volcanoes. You look at the USGS volcano chart. More volcanic activity ever in the history of recording has ever happened these past 2 years to the present.
Yeah.
So there might be that. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to get like too deep into it because it's hypothetical. But every hypothetical that I was taught as a child from my uncle and my family has come to pass. So it's like, you know, I don't know how to take it. But the one thing that got me, which my uncle didn't tell me about, was, you know, I found Edward Casey on my own, and then I ended up meeting the USGS representative at a bar here in upstate Ohio, and he started telling me about how, yeah, man, the deepest part of the Earth's crust on the whole planet Earth is right here.
It totally makes sense. I mean, that's what they call that, the North American craton.
Yeah, the oldest. Well, and if you look at your history books, they'll tell you that like the Appalachians are the oldest mountain range on the planet, and they're just so broken down, and that's why they're there. But what they don't tell you is underneath them is a mountain 3 times the size of Mount Everest. Wow. Underneath, and it's made of.
That's amazing.
That's
crazy.
Also,
if you're from Ohio as well, everybody here knows Morton salt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a salt deposit that starts off of Cleveland and goes all the way up into Canada, and it's one giant salt crystal, and it's about, I think, 50 to 75 miles wide at its biggest width, and it's 5 to 7 miles deep at its deepest width. And guess what crystals are really great at? Even salt crystals. Keeping away solar radiation.
I know where I'm building my bug out.
Wow.
Yeah, when you move over, Bobby.
Yeah, right? I keep telling
you, brother.
Yeah, you keep telling me, and I keep telling you, when it's time to go, I know where I'm headed, and me and my wife were talking about this last night, and she thought I was kidding. And she's like, no, we're not. We're headed for, I don't know, she wants to go, like, to the Ozarks, or she wants to go, I don't know, Oregon she's mentioned, and then she's mentioned the Dakotas or somewhere, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the places that we want to stay away from.
It's all volcanoes in there.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, not all the water, supposedly anyways, is supposed to drain out. And that's supposedly, like, that's Edgar Casey's thing. But so think about it. In an end time scenario, Northeast Ohio will have fresh water.
Yeah.
Salts preserve all the game and fish. Salts preserve all the vegetables you can grow. That's what you need to survive for a long time. And me and my hunting buddies and everybody else, we've talked about this. I mean, I live in Amish country. I have Amish buddies, so we talk about this all the time. And they tell me the same thing. And well, especially my Amish buddies, they tell me, yeah, like that's why God put us here. And they're you know, I'm telling them about, you know, like how you know, things are going so bad here in the English world, and you know, it seems like it's all about to fall apart, and it's like the end of the world and the end of the Bible and all that stuff. And they go, well, yeah, that's why God put us here.
Yeah, Ohio's Amish country, man. Oh yeah.
You know what? Not trying to be rude or anything, but we have like so many people that are trying to get in, and I'm getting messages on Facebook and an email saying that people are trying to call in and they keep getting a busy signal. But I see that people are finally getting in because I see a bunch of hands up. So if we can, let's try to bring in the next caller. But we appreciate you, sharing information with us.
Well, no, man. And I just wanted to give that message. Actually, I wanted to give the welcome message to Ohio because I do
get
think
in touch with me, brother.
Absolutely.
I do think it's
alrighty.
People start coming in, please.
Get in touch with me privately, brother.
I will.
Later.
Okay.
God bless you, man.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, area code 731. You're on live with Rage Against the Regime. Who am I speaking with?
Hippie Yogi Bear, how are you, Miss Becky and Mr. Bobby?
I can't hear you, brother. Can you speak up?
I'll try to. How you doing,
right.
Miss Becky?
Hey, Yoga. How you doing, Yogi?
Hey, Yogi. I told you to call back in. I knew you'd get in.
Yeah. Well, y'all been so full, but
Your phone is bad, Yogi.
yeah, that's what everybody's telling me. It's breaking up. Is that any better?
Must be them NSA rats.
Yeah, I am. I don't 36 phones a year, so what's that take?
Yeah,
right.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can. We can now. Hey, do you got a question for Tom from Bucker Report?
I hadn't been able to hear what he's been talking about, so kind of fill me in there, Tom.
Mostly about the earthquakes, in the Idaho area, and then, it getting dangerously close to Yellowstone, and then we were talking about Planet X, and mostly all weather-related, and, about, things to come, and, volcanoes, and, and all that.
Well, what do you think about the New Madrid? We've been having sonic booms at the New Madrid, which everybody ought to be familiar with the New Madrid fault line at New Madrid, Missouri.
Yeah, the last caller we had, he said that it's about due now. He said a 200-year cycle, I believe he said.
Yeah, the last one was in 1811 and lasted 3 years.
Yes, it caused what was it? It caused the Mississippi River to run backwards?
It ran backwards for 3 days.
Oh.
For 3 whole days, it run backwards.
Talk about ringing the bell, huh?
But we've been getting some sonic booms from up in that area in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and up in Union City, Tennessee, and over in Arkansas. They've been hearing some sonic booms, which was the same scenario. If you look up when it happened before, they were hearing what they called loud thunder boomers with no clouds. So we're getting a lot of these sonic, it's like sonic booms are happening, but yet our seismic action hasn't went up very much, even though we have anywhere from 150 to 300 earthquakes a year on the fault line. It's went up greatly. But I hadn't heard about the Yellowstone, though, because I know a couple of years ago they pulled off the Yellowstone because of ours, and then they went back out to Yellowstone. I hadn't heard nothing about it. What are they doing out there?
Well, there's just been a rash of earthquakes out in Idaho. That's kind of part of the caldera at Yellowstone. There's 4.9, so that's up there. I think yesterday there was a 5.1, and they tried to downgrade it. But, they've been popping off. Oh, yeah. Yep. Speaking of New Madrid, I'm looking here. You just had a 3.9 in Oklahoma. You just had a 3.8. I mean, you guys are rocking. 3.2. Yeah, there's all kinds of activity going on over there by Oklahoma right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's kind of west of the New Madrid, though.
Go around Arkansas and Tennessee and Missouri line there and see what's going on there. Because I hadn't been able to pull up the website on that because I'm on cell phone. What kind of seismic action are we getting now?
Oklahoma. 3 or 4 times. Oklahoma. Nevada. I mean, yeah. Yeah, nothing really for today.
Yeah, it's mostly over there then.
Just a little of you.
Yeah. But did y'all hear, to kind of change the subject, we've got a thing going on here in Tennessee. Did y'all hear about the Secret Service coming into Nashville, Tennessee, beating on a man's door, couldn't get him to come to the door? They called the local police department in Nashville, Tennessee to come and help them get into the house. They showed up. They said, "Do you have a warrant?" They said, "No." They said, "What has he done?" Well, he's posted some stuff about Obama on Facebook, so we want to talk to him, and he's got concealed permit, so we know he's armed. So they call him the chief of police, and chief of police comes in and says, what has this man done? We've looked, he's not wanted for nothing, he's got a concealed permit, where's your warrant? They said, we don't have one. Can you make us one up? And he says, I can't make up a warrant. They said, well, you can pull out a piece of paper and wave it at the door where he opened the door where we can get in. And now the chief of police in Nashville, Tennessee, is in this letter and email debate with the Secret Service in Washington, D.C. and Nashville, going back and forth at a war. And the chief of police in Nashville, Tennessee, says, I am an oath keeper, and I will keep everybody's constitutional rights. And
God bless.
Long story short, he called all the cops off and everything and told the Secret Service, said good luck, but I'm going to tell you right now, we're not holding him responsible for anything, any actions that happen. You break down his door, he kills you, I'm not responsible, neither is he. He is a citizen of Nashville, Tennessee. And he has no laws, and he has no warrants against him.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, and then
that brought a tear to my eye.
Memphis, Tennessee, there's over 200 cops that have walked off the job because police down there is having. He is demanding them to break people's constitutional rights. You can look this up on Fox News. 200 cops so far in Memphis, Tennessee have walked off the job.
Wow.
So it's getting bad. It's getting good, but it's getting bad.
Getting bad. Well, you know what, Yogi? We appreciate you calling us. You know what? If you want to hang on, we've got some other callers we got to try to get in here. And, you know, if you want, we'll put you back on mute or, you know, whatever. If you got another question or you got something else you want to say, you can raise your hand. But we want to try to get some more of these callers in. I mean, our phone lines are completely flooded, as you've seen, you know, when you were trying to call in and you couldn't even get in because, you know, there was no extra room on the board. And we can only, and that's the problem. We can only take 200 callers at one time. So if you couldn't get in on the line and I can get 200 callers at once, what's that tell you?
Yeah.
We're flooded.
Well, y'all have a good
flooded.
one, and I appreciate it, y'all.
I love you,
Alrighty.
Talk to y'all later, Becky and Bobby. And
alrighty, brother. We're going to put you on hold. All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks a lot. All right. All right, Becky. We'll bring the next one in.
I'm looking. Let's see.
Yeah, I got it. From the 757 area code, who do we have?
That's a truck driver.
Oh, you got your hand back up again.
No, I have not touched my phone.
All right.
All right, 731.
All right, we'll put you back on hold. All right, here we go. Here's that. I believe that's. Hang on, here we got somebody else from the 937 area code. Who do we have?
You have Fletcher. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Fletcher.
Hey, brother.
Hey, sister. I'd like to touch base. Go back on water and bleach. Someone mentioned. I didn't quite hear how many drops he said to what amount. Can we hear that again, please?
Sure. It's if you have a gallon, like if you have just a regular gallon jug or a regular 1 gallon container that you're going to be storing water in, what you want to do is fill that up halfway, and you take an eyedropper. You can get an eyedropper at a regular pharmacy or whatever, and you take that eyedropper and you use regular unscented chlorine bleach. It has to be plain unscented. And what you do is you take that eyedropper and you pull some up in there, and you do 8 to 9 drops, only 8 to 9 drops into that half a gallon. Then you fill that gallon the rest of the way up to the top, and fill it up so level to the top of that container so you can almost see the water over top of it, so no air gets in there. And then you tighten that lid down, and there you go.
Oh, okay. You're talking about long-term storage then.
Yes, long-term storage, yes. And after that, if you bring it out and you feel funny about it, you can always do that same process again, because that chlorine will dissipate after so long. But what it does is it keeps that water, it keeps any kind of, that 8 to 9 drops per gallon kills any kind of, any kind of contaminants in that water, whether, germs or whatever. I'm talking about if you're just bringing it out of your faucet. Now, if you're collecting water from a stream or somewhere else, then I would boil it. If you're funny about that water, if, say, you got it stored away for 3 or 4 years, and you're funny about it, just boil it, and you're good to go.
Okay. All right, so what would be your suggestions to, say, a 5-gallon bucket of water that you need to distribute with a group of people? Say, you're in a bug-out location, and you have 15, 20 people that need to drink some water. So you got 5 gallons of water.
Okay, is this water you just collected from somewhere?
Say a stream or water.
So what you want to do there? Sure. What you want to do there is, if you just collected that water, you want to take it back to wherever your location is, and like you said, your bug out location, where you got 20 people that's ready to drink. Now, you want to take another container, some type of separate container. If you have another bucket or whatever, you can make a funnel into some containers, and you want to create some type of filter. Okay, whether it be a T-shirt or whatever. And you pour that water in through the T-shirt into the other container. What that'll do is it'll filter out whatever debris is in your water. And then you take that water and simply boil it. The water that you filtered, then you boil it, and you're good to go.
I see. Okay,
is it a one-round boil, brother? Is it a one-round boil, or or is it a two-boil process?
What do you mean?
Well, I've seen some videos where they boiled the water twice, but I can't remember why they boiled it twice. Oh, you know what that was? They were cooking up moss. They boiled it, strained it, boiled it, strained it. Never mind. One moment. I'm calling it
Becky.
One moment.
Becky, that's called cooking eggs.
Yeah, right. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. My head is so full of information. I had to pull it out.
Right.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Okay. I thank you for your answer, sir.
Hey, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, Fletcher.
You're welcome.
I love
buddy.
you, Terry. I
love you,
buddy.
Becky.
I thought that I shared it on your page today, Fletcher, and I don't even know why. When you said I'm glad I stumbled on this, I thought I posted it on your page earlier.
I don't know if it was my page I stumbled across or whose page.
Yeah. No, because usually I try to share it on your page, and I don't even know what the hell happened. I thought I did, so.
Well, it was
Sorry.
6 minutes old. I thought I had already missed the show, and I want to be a regular listener and participant. But, it was 6 minutes old, so I jumped in there.
Right.
I appreciate you calling in. I was looking for you. I was hoping you were going to be around for a minute. I have a question for the panel. Is it true that water melts sugar?
Water does what?
Melts sugar.
Yeah.
Melt sugar. Does water really dissolve sugar?
Oh,
does it really?
It should.
Well, that's why I say.
Yeah, I would think so.
It does in my coffee.
Well, I did.
Yeah, right. My tea.
I needed to know. They're forecasting rain, and I don't want to get out there and get wet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God! My God! Hey, you can't do that type of stuff when I'm around.
What?
Okay, we gotta stay partners. You can't do that crap when I'm around. Okay, that's just not good.
Every one of you felt like, well, duh.
I gotta look at my partner a whole different way.
What, brother?
Yeah, right. I said I gotta look at you in a whole different way then.
That's right. I know. That's right. All right.
See,
well,
one
thank
day,
you again.
Remember that day you go, I'm going to be the MILF of the podcast world. I'm like, oh, my God.
I'm not just a MILF. I'm a GILF. I'm a MILF and a GILF. Yeah,
right.
I'm a cougar. I'm not a saber-toothed tiger, and this is how I know I'm not. I have more than 2 teeth, so I'm good still. I'm still a cougar.
I was going to have a bad joke there, but I might have gotten a few people mad, so.
Oh, yeah, well, we don't want to make anybody angry. Hell, what are you talking about? Not on this show.
No. We've got about 15 minutes left, so anybody that has any questions that you have not gotten your question in already, you may want to press that one button. Our phone line is completely, lit up, and, I mean, there's got to be a few more people that have questions on there. I do see, there goes a couple of hands up now. Wow. Oh, wow.
That was pretty.
It's like everybody's raising their hands at the same damn time.
Pardon me. That's so pretty. Who we got?
Well, first of all, I think Tom dropped, so we got to bring him back on.
Hey, Tommy.
There's
I think you hear
Tom.
me now, huh?
Yeah, there you are.
Tell me where
Tell
me where my joke's at bad, buddy. You had to run away. Stop that.
You talking all that sweet stuff. My wife booted me off the show. No.
Jessica, slow down.
Oh, no, right. I'm sorry. Yeah. 330-312. Tom, you're on.
That's him.
Yes.
You weirdo.
Listen. I'll tell you what, guys, I've seen extreme change in my weather here in Dallas. One day we have 70 degrees, 60-something, and the next day, it's cold as hell, and you got to look for your toenails. It's that cold. I mean,
wow.
Seriously, I am seeing some serious changes in the weather. I'm seeing a lot of seismic activity in my area. I would say within a 250-mile radius. We're seeing tons of activity in Oklahoma. We're seeing a lot of activity going on in the Tennessee area. Sometimes I hear about activity out there. I just don't know what to make of all of it. I just know that we do need to be prepared, but I can say this, Tom, I don't know how the hell to protect myself from lava. I don't think my chem suit and my gas mask are going to be sufficient, brother.
Yeah, it's it's just the whole environment change. I mean, that's the bad part is the habitat area. I mean, there's something we haven't touched on tonight. I just had a family member too recently, just the other day, died of pneumonia. They went in, and I have another person that I know. And they went into the hospital. Wow. They had the flu for a little while, and they went to the hospital, and they got diagnosed with pneumonia. And they were really bad off in there. They put them on a ventilator and everything. And now they're home. But I had a family member just last week, or I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, that actually died from pneumonia in the hospital. And now we have their 13-year-old. So we had to take in their 13-year-old son. It's
brother,
just,
I'm sorry.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I mean, what is this strain of flu? I mean, what is this strain of flu out here that is causing people to, that it's such a deep strain of the flu that's going around that's kicking people into pneumonia? I mean, it's unbelievable.
This is where we need Bill on because Bill actually has access to some stuff that the FDA does not want that team marketing that boosts the immune system and actually kills viruses before they invade your system. And it's called Vanguard. And I really want anybody out there that's listening, please look up the information on Vanguard and make your own decisions. I certainly don't want to make it for you, but I do want you to know that there is something out here that you can actually utilize to your advantage for you and your family to assure you're not going to be in a situation that Tom's family is in, burying somebody who probably would be more than healthy and walking the streets.
She was 30 years old.
Life.
Yeah, she was 30 years old. It's amazing.
Wow. And see, that's relatively young. I mean, we should have a good immune system at the age of 30. I personally do 5,000 milligrams of D, 5,000 milligrams of B12 and B6, and I do 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day to boost my immune system. That's why I look like I look at 174 years old.
You know, Becky, throwing on that, I do, as far as vitamin C, I do 2 500s a day. I do 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and I also do 1,000 IU of D3 every day. Yeah. And the D3 also helps with your color, with your skin and everything else, because you don't get as much sunlight up here in Ohio as everywhere else.
Hey,
it's amazing, dude. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. Yeah, brother.
Bill, I'm actually talking to him online right now. He said that every time he tried to call in, he had a bad reception, and then finally he gave in. He's asking for me to share his page for the VFI humic acid that he has.
There you go.
So,
Bill, can you hear me? Is this you, Bill, 714? Bill? I'm thinking that. All right, go ahead, Bobby. Do what you got to do, brother.
Okay, yeah, he wants me to give a link for send him a link for Bunker Report, but he also would like for me to share his page, which is www.facebook.com VFI humic HUMIC acid ACID. So
that's what I take. I
Facebook,
take humic acid. Go ahead, brother.
And he's just asking me for me to share it, but I'm actually going to give him a link for Bunker Report because he wants to be able to to be able to follow Tom on there. So I actually have to try to bring up Bunker Report's page and and do that. But I guess he had a bunch of problems every time he tried getting on. He just I guess the phone lines were busy, and then when you did try to bring him on, it just it just didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. So
right, I just tried it again, and it's not. I'm sorry, it's not Vanguard. It's Virugard, VIRUGUARD, and it's 98% pure VFI humic acid. And I take humic acid. I go personally, Tom, to a all natural vitamin store to get my vitamins. I don't take the over the counter; they're too full of crap, and your body doesn't absorb it properly. And my D and my B12, and I take that as liquid form, and I also get that from there. I want the purest form that I can possibly get if I'm going to spend the money. So that's what I do.
A nurse told me one time if you take she said if you're taking any vitamins regularly, take a small cup of water and drop that vitamin there. She goes, if it's not dissolving in the water, then it's probably not going to dissolve properly in your system either.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
That's good info. Yeah, that's good info.
Yeah.
The way that this pneumonia virus is working, it's actually caused by fungus spores, and they're they're in the RV, and that's where they live, or that's where this guy lived that got pneumonia. He lived in an RV. He spent 4 days in the hospital getting aggressive IV antibiotics, and this is just one guy's story. He became septic, and septic means his entire body was shutting down. It was toxic.
Wow.
So what happened was this guy, he stopped in Little Rock and went in, talked to his son. He'd gone to urgent care, diagnosed with the flu. They immediately started taking this Virugard and double dose, and in a matter of 5 days, I mean, you got to remember this guy was in critical care on IV antibiotics, and then he had a family member who came down with the same thing. Within 5 days, it was gone, completely gone. His immune system was back to par, and neither him or his family member, which was actually his sister, contacted or contracted the flu virus that their other family member had as well. So the humic acid is amazing. If you do some research on it, it's great for acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, some of the other viruses that they'll tell you, antibiotics won't treat a virus, they'll treat the secondary infection. This is going to help you prevent that. So I'm pumping it out there, just not we don't do like commercials or promotionals or anything else on the show, but this is life-changing and life-saving, all natural, healthy way to assure that your family is not succumb to the demise that your family member did, Tom. So I want to put it out there. Look into it. It's virus.
Hey, we got about 5 minutes left, and I'm just, anybody that has any questions, okay, make sure you start pressing that button now. We want to be able to fly through your questions, try to get them in. Anybody that's on the call, okay, will be able to be in just in case we go a couple seconds over or whatever. I know that we're on tight schedules here, but that's why you got 5 minutes. If you have a question, let's get them in. 440, you're back. Hello.
Hey, I just want to say I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody that you're not allowed to get on. It's all my fault. I'm not even supposed to be talking about all this stuff. And I just want to say God bless. And probably the last time you hear from me. And have a good evening.
Well, hey, you brought a lot of knowledge, brother. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would that be the last time we hear from you, man? No way.
No, you got to get in touch with me off of everything else, man. We'll, get in touch with me with my personal emails and everything else. We'll network, man.
Oh, he hung up.
Well, if he's still listening, let me know. We'll network.
Okay, bring Bill on.
Bill, are you on? Can you hear?
Yeah, finally. I could call in and I would hear 3 or 4 words or maybe a sentence and then 1 or 2 minutes of dead air. And I've been able to hear the last 2 minutes, after calling back. But so I caught a little bit. I heard you talking about ViroGuard. Thanks, but yeah, I've been trying to get in since 20 minutes after show start. Wow.
Well, we have. I'm not even kidding you, Bill. Our phone line is so lit up right now. It's unbelievable how many callers we have online right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should just kind of make one point since you brought up the ViroGuard. It's not so much the humic acid molecule that the ViroGuard utilizes. What it is a very specific humic acid molecule where the actual atomic makeup, the atoms that make up the molecules, are grouped in such a way that they are effective electropositively and electronegatively to attract the virus cells. It absolutely binds and blocks them out from infecting the host cells in our body. So if you don't have a virus, yet you come across one, it won't be able to attach to you. You won't become infected. If you already are infected, you can take the ViroGuard and it will stop the process and block the furtherance of it from that point forward. But I heard Becky at the end, before I was able to actually get on here, that she had mentioned 5 days. 5 days was something that occurred with a lady who had rheumatoid arthritis, which is a virus. It's a bad disease. And she has been clear since she started taking it 2.5 months ago. But a flu, even a pandemic one, these nasty respiratory viruses, some of the other ones that we've talked about, and some of what we're seeing today, that's a 2 to 3 day process. One of our good friends who's been on the border was terribly sick to the point that even had a body rash, respiratory sickness so severe that he resigned himself to his recliner chair and basically gave up before he received the case that he had bought from me. And within 2.5 days, he was back on his 12-acre ranch taking care of it as he has his whole life. Interesting also, he has such a damaged left hand from so many breaks, he hasn't been able to close a tight fist, he told me, in about 8 years. And within the first week and since, he's been able to make a very tight fist. One of the natural properties in the humic acid, not just the VFI, which is viral fusion inhibiting, is Mother Nature's primary anti-inflammatory agent. and it's very, very effective. And it has, in the humus that it comes from, and in the humic acid, the VFI humic acid that is ViroGuard, there are 72 trace minerals. Now, the thing about trace minerals that's important, especially being properly electrically charged, is the body instantaneously absorbs minerals, and it utilizes what it needs. The body doesn't use minerals just because it's in the earth system. It uses minerals that it can attract and are properly utilized. Otherwise, they just build up in your system as heavy metals, which ViroGuard also helps chelate, removes heavy metals and other toxins. So it really serves a purpose. It quickly provides the trace minerals that your body needs to have a proper immune function anyway, and not just the immuno functions, but your whole general system function. But it also breaks out and relieves all of the toxic and heavy metal deposits. But it'll stop these viruses. The FDA, they tried to can us a long time ago by having us retest all of our test passes until we had to financially surrender to the process itself. They tried to have us set up for a buyout, but they would not agree, these big pharma corporations, to put it to market. They wouldn't be obligated on contract to put it to market if they purchased us, so that my friend Dr. Law opted not to do that. And so here I am today as a supplement, a nutraceutical supplement offering this, and I don't care if they come after me for it. We have a nation under duress, under attack, and under severe illness. That's what the ViroGuard is for.
Hey, you know what? Let me get one person in, and then we'll go right back to you, Bill, because this one person has they only have a couple seconds left here. Just let them get their question into Tom. 731 area code. What do we have?
This is Yogi Bear. I wanted to take something about what y'all were talking about, minerals and stuff like that.
You know what, Yogi? I don't know if anybody else can understand it, but I know I can't.
I can't hear him.
Okay.
You guys can't hear him.
No.
You can't hear me?
You're broke up,
sorry. Yeah, you're broken up, Yogi.
All right.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Try it again, Yogi. Yogi?
He's gone.
Yeah, sorry. I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. Okay, back to you, Bill. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just
that's okay. I'll just give one thing, and then I'll sit back and hear what everybody has to say. The actual link for it on Facebook is facebook.com/pages, PAGES/VFI, that's Victor Frank Island, humic with a capital H, UMIC acid with a capital A, ACID, and then / then it's 1509 4910 5260 1357. Or you can look up VFI humic acid in your search.
Hey, Bill, can you make sure you shoot me that link at Bunker Report and over on YouTube also? And what I'll do is I'll start adding a link into my description area of my videos, too, when I put one out.
Yeah, I really want a conversation because the story behind it's pretty interesting, too. In fact, it's really telling given what we're up against with this corporation pretending to be our government.
I gave you all his links. Bill, I sent you all of his links for him personally and to his page, to the Bunker Report page.
Good.
I was bummed that I couldn't get through because this is a guy that I really wanted to talk with and I wanted to hear today, and I'm so bummed that I missed it.
Well, you know what? Tom is always friendly enough with us that if I beg him hard enough, and long enough, he, usually gives in and usually joins us. So I know that he's up against the clock though right now, and 6:30 is pretty much what he promised us for. So, and right now we're in overdrive. So,
Tom, I'll contact you for sure.
So let us put you against the wall here, Tom. And so when are you going to come back? No pressure.
This week.
Well,
this
you
week.
know me. It's always day to day, Bobby. I don't know where I'm going to be 1 minute from the next.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you because I know how your schedule is. So you know what?
Crazy.
I promise everybody we're going to bring Tom back. I mean, we always have unfinished business. I mean, right now, there's still people that want to get on the phone with you, and if I keep putting callers through, we're never going to end this. So, and I know that, you got family to tend to, and you got other, more important things to do. So, so I would say that this is where we're going to pretty much call it a show. And I mean, unless you have a few more minutes, but I mean, I you know how that goes.
Whatever you want to do, Bobby. If there's people that want us dying to get on, then I mean, if you guys want to clear the board, that's up to you.
Yeah, we're still on.
Yeah, well, you know what? We do this and we just keep going. So I mean, eventually it's going to cut us off. I think it gives us like 30 minutes or something to keep rolling
40.
with it.
Yeah.
Or does it 40?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want
it's
to do.
up to you. It's up to you guys. I mean, all right, then, there you go, Bill. It's all yours.
I'm good to hear what everybody had to say, but I don't mind speaking up a little bit here now as well. I don't know what I missed, so, I mean, you heard where I came in. And if anybody has any questions about it, you can definitely ask me, but I can't question what's already come up. Unfortunately,
hey,
I don't know what I missed.
Bobby, run it real quick. I got to take a lady break for a second. Go ahead and run the board. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got it. I'm on it. That truck driver, is it that you have a question? Because I see that you're lit up again. If you don't have a question, maybe you can press that button 1 so I know not to go to you. But if you do have a question, just leave it still pressed and I'll go back to you. Oh, there he goes. He pressed the button. Okay. Yeah, see, that's where it gets confusing because if people have a question, they can press the button, not press the button, so on and so forth. They could still press that number 1 and get in here. But no, we were covering mostly the earthquakes that are happening in the Idaho area, and then talking about activity at Yellowstone, and then we were talking about we've covered so much. Planet X, asteroids that are going to be coming around that everybody's worried about, fireballs. I mean, we've covered so much.
It's just a mess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I'm a science guy. I've been into it forever, and as far as asteroids and such goes, the peer review is way off base, and they have a lot of dark this, dark that, and dark everything else to explain theory that they have no idea how to prove. But there's some very prominent top-level researchers that you can see in Facebook and on the Internet in the Thunderbolts Project and also the Electric Universe, which gives a pretty accurate accounting of what we actually find from asteroids rather than what they thought or expected to find, or that this isn't characteristic or that's not characteristic. It'll also tie a lot of the relationship between the sun. We have positive and negative holes, coronal holes that as a rotation occurs that face the Earth at different times, and geomagnetically they have different effects, which include earthquakes and different storms and such as that. But it's a good source. It's a good source of true, real science, and this is the kind of science where it's not just a theoretical version of science, but it's the practical version that the guy who actually goes into a lab or gets involved directly will involve himself with. And you can use mathematics to see it, but you don't use mathematics to create something just because a number says it's possible. I mean, these guys look into real science. Pretty interesting. That's theelectricuniverse.com or on Facebook or the Thunderbolts Project.
Sure.
Interesting, though, too, if you talked about earthquakes and you talked about volcanoes, is the potential for the volcanoes. One of the things that I've been kind of watching for a while is the northwest portion of Nevada, because geologically the history shows, and if you look at even their surface rocks and ground, is that had at one period in time been a volcanic region, but that we may be seeing the birthing of a volcano even in its earliest stages, and who knows when that would actually come up, but I suspect that that's the case here. As far as Central America with the Mandrake, that whole fault there, the greatest problem, I suppose, with that has always been the geology of the Earth, where it exists, and the reason it reaches so far, that it's felt over such a broad mileage, is that you have extraordinary liquefaction which occurs. It's basically like a jello, so the slightest shake will involve a big mass of land, but it has the potential to shake really big, which means that it can devastate huge masses of land, including reversing the Mississippi and a number of other things. But yeah, there's a lot going on. There's cluster quakes in several volcanic regions, including California, where we may end up seeing Mammoth Mountain, which is basically a dormant volcano, awaken again someday. And then you have Idaho, and of course you have all that stuff going on. You probably already talked about it.
You know what I hear a lot from people is people say, a lot of people, message me and email me, and they say, well, Tom, you're because I talk about a lot of different things, and I post a lot about a lot of different stuff. And they're like, Tom, every week it's like something's different, it's changing, and this and that is what's going on. And I say, well, isn't it amazing in this time of the world that every week we have something to report? Like there's something constantly coming down the pike to report. It's, man, for ever-changing times, I guess it's true.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, every time we talk about a show, we're sitting there and we always go, well, so, what are we going to talk about right now? I mean, what's the most important thing? And it's like, here, let's put up a dartboard and throw a dart and whatever the hell we hit. I guess that's going to be the agenda for the day, because it's terrible. There's just so much going on. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you guys talked about today are my loves. I mean, my heart and my spirit obviously is a patriot, and we have something to resolve. So I've had to deny myself all of my desires, my intellectual and character, my fascinations with the science and all this other stuff that you talked about. But man, if we can get this thing back in order, we can get back to that. I can get back to that, which is what I'd like to do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys
unbelievable.
Did y'all guys see today the financials on what's going on with Greece and the euro?
Still? Yeah.
Yeah, that's constantly.
Hey, Bill, did you get? Did you happen to? Oh, I you know what? You faded out, Becky. I didn't realize that you were still talking. On my side, you faded out. There's a report today that came out that one of the military guys, I guess he's a soldier for maybe not the United States. It might be for, I don't know, maybe Iraq or somewhere. Recorded a video of the United States military dropping more weapons to ISIS.
Oh man. Yeah, well, they've done it once.
It's on video.
They've done it once, and if they do it 1,000 more times, it's still already a problem. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a friend who served in that branch of the military where they would airdrop supplies, and especially given the environment where they're making these drops, to miss something the way it was missed, it just is unheard of. So it has to be intentional. It has to be intentional.
What do they call that, Bobby? Creation, reaction, solution. That's
yep.
Exactly. How it goes.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, Bobby, I do have a bell ringing now, and I do have something I do need to send my attention to. So I guess I'm going to step out on you guys. But it was a really great show, and Bobby, you send me all the links and everything, and Becky, it was great. This was really fun.
Hey,
well, you know what? I'll get in touch with you. I look forward to it.
Absolutely.
You always have a seat here at the table with us. I mean, if you ever have any free time or whatever, I've actually asked Tom before a long time ago to be a host. Have his own show. On a certain day or whatever. But I know with what he does for a living, and then family-wise and everything else, it's very, very hard for him to do that. But he knows that he has a spot here with us. Anytime you want to join the show, we're more than welcome to bring you on. And it's always a pleasure to have you on. I mean, you have so much knowledge, and everybody wants to hear what you have to say. And you know that I consider you a brother, and and like I said, if I have to run and bug out, I'm headed your way. You already know that. So, so there's no surprises coming. Hey, what the hell are you doing here?
Just blink the flashlight times.
Yeah, exactly. All right, brother, but we really, really appreciate you coming on, and and I can't even tell you how much. So I'll send you the links later, and you can promote the hell out of it.
Absolutely, definitely. You guys take care.
All right, brother, I
evening.
appreciate it. All righty.
Yeah, blessed night.
All right, everybody. That was Tom Lupshu from Bunker Report. Anybody that does not follow Bunker Report on Facebook or on YouTube, by all means, please go out and follow him. His pages always have so much information on them. He's always constantly posting, the latest and the greatest information, whatever he finds out, about weather or tornadoes, volcanoes, solar flares. I mean, anything that you can imagine that's going on that is another warning for us here, in our world, in the many, many things that we have going on. It's like, here's just something else to put on top of it. So, but by all means, go out and find them, Bunker Report on YouTube and Bunker Report on Facebook.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
What a great show.
Oh, my God. This is...
I got to go get that dozen... What?
It has had to have been one of the best shows that we've ever had.
Listen, I might have to go get that dozen donuts now. I might have to increase it to 2 just so I can make sure I get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I'm going to have to go also. I'm up against the clock myself. You two can, by all means, carry on for the next 30 minutes if you want, or whatever the hell it is. But me, myself, that's me beeping in the background, by the way. I just actually have to duck and dive, so.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for coming on. Rage Against the
Regime. And you know what? And I don't know. I think tomorrow we're going to do a show, or it's your show, I think, tomorrow, right? Wait, no.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Let's just do one. Let's just do it.
Okay. You know what? So how about this? How about we'll just we're going to do a show tomorrow night. We'll just say 4:30 to 6:30 seems like it's a good time spot. So anybody that wants to join us tomorrow night, maybe Bill will come back on and tell us about his product. I don't know.
Man, that'd be great. Bill, can you do that for us, buddy?
Yeah, I think it's important for a few reasons. You know that with all the different shows that I've been on, you don't hear me mention it because I don't want to devalue the Patriot communications that we've had. And I've had enough people try to, call me the snake oil salesman trying to take advantage of the crisis, which is absurd to me if they knew what I exactly sacrificed to make this happen. And the risk that I take from being prosecuted and thrown away for daring to stand up against their trillion-dollar monstrosity that they control our very well-being with, and which they also may use as their primary weapon, if push comes to shove, to disable us from being able to fight at all, except for those of us who are protected against these kind of viruses, and me being one of them. The ViroGuard. There's an interesting story behind it, and I get a lot of argument from people, and it's like, wow, and attacks from people who won't even read the basic science or take reference or question me at all. And it's like, I don't understand, given the crisis that we're up against and how I have profiled scenarios for the last very many years, including with the Oath Keepers, where we've seen some changes, why, unless I'm being told by 1,000 people, why they wouldn't look into what I'm actually offering, given what I've already put my house on the line to do.
Right.
So I just figured at this particular point, with all of our safety and our health and well-being at stake, I needed to put my ass on the line entirely, and that this was one thing that I could absolutely do. Hand of God, hand on my shoulders, saying this is something you can do something about, and I had to throw the fear blanket off and just do it. And it seems to be a timely thing that I did, although it's costly for me.
Well, we'll have you on tomorrow. We'll talk about the viruses and the dangers we're in, and I'll do a little homework, and I'll bring up some current statistics for the people that are dropping dead from what's going on around right now, and the areas that are covered. We're right now in a 20-some-odd state area of pandemic for the flu. It's epidemic proportion at this point. So we'll do this tomorrow, 4:30. Thanks for listening to Rage Against the Regime. Bobby, I love you, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So long, you guys.
All right, Bill. You have a good night.
You too. Sorry, missed the show.
Hey, I'm glad you made it in at the end, brother. I'm glad you made it in. I love you with all my heart, and I will talk to you soon.
Love you too.
All right. Thanks again for joining us at Rage Against the Regime. We thank our brother Tom for coming on as guest. We look forward to seeing Bill tomorrow. We're going to talk about ViroGuard and some of the viruses and some of the things that this actually will combat in your bodies so that we can be healthier for what's to come. We need to be healthy, we need to be strong, and we need to be well informed. Until tomorrow, this is Becky Williams with Rage Against the Regime. Party on, Garth.